Welcome to PAFOW Global Online. This is the People Analytics and Future of Work Conference, and we are doing this virtually, and we are live streaming within what we're calling the PAFOW campus, and I'll describe what that means here shortly. But as we begin, I just want to say thank you. If you are up early on the East Coast of the US, appreciate that. If you are in the mid part of your day there in Europe, I appreciate you for joining in. We are going to be live streaming for the next 15 hours. So we're going to capture most of the globe over this time. And the reason we're doing that is we want to create a global community on this theme of people data for good. And that is very dear to us as a community because the use of people data is becoming more popular. And as that happens, the responsibility to use this data in conscious, responsible, intentional ways is certainly heightened. So more on that in a minute as well. But before we get into things, I just want to share a few things about who we are and what we're doing with this program over the next 2 days. Now, we are, like I said at the outset, PAFOW Global Online. This is our second go actually at a virtual conference, but first in this new platform. And I'm going to talk about those right now. So you are likely within the PAFOW campus, the Six Connects environment. So I want to thank them for all the work that they've done to set this up. I also want to thank a massive amount of people who were involved in doing this and standing this up. Before I do that, though, I do want to say this, is that we are in this place in our world right now where we have a pandemic going on, we have social unrest happening, we have this pursuit of greater diversity, equity, social justice, sense of inclusion. Organizations have a responsibility, certainly a role to play in helping bring about positive social change. The idea that the workplace is going to be this kind of safe haven where there's limited accountability around inclusive behaviors and potentially poor behaviors, that has to stop. And data is shedding light on the fact that, hey, some people might not have been treated as fair as they could have or should have. So we have responsibility, in my view, in our discipline to elevate the insights into what is truly happening within organizations. And as we do that, hopefully we're going to get more positive change happening in people's lives, not only through organizational performance. Now, I started going down this road as I'm just starting up here at 4:03 a.m. Pacific time. I am in Santa Cruz, California. I'll be joined at the bottom of the hour, if not a little sooner, by David Green. Until then, I want to go through some logistics. But before I do, I'm going to stay here for several minutes, actually, because what you're experiencing is truly something that I didn't know was actually going to come to fruition. When the pandemic hit truly in early March, we as a group were in the Melbourne area. We're actually in Sydney as well. Sydney is actually where we held our conference. And with that time, it was fantastic. Felt super grateful. Things were looking good to come to London in late April and have these 4 cornerstone events around the world to bring the community together. Obviously, we're not going to be meeting in person anytime soon. I would say the first time we're going to meet as a group under the PAFOW brand would be the fall of 2021. And that might even be ambitious. I mean, who knows? We might meet regionally in smaller groups before then, but I'm not placing any money on it. So what we're thus going to do is we're going to be meeting virtually. Now, I'm just going to call this out. kind of sucks. Staring at a glowing rectangle, not shaking hands, not getting hugs, not truly getting into deep conversations with your colleagues from around the world. Share your struggles, share ideas. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and I've been blessed to have been a part of it for 15 plus years in this particular community. Now, to create this situation where we have this leading edge platform, I had to ask our sponsors hey, is this something that you really want to do? Is this something that you're willing to invest in? Because the delegate revenue from enterprises was not going to be what it was. If anything, there's so much free content. There's so many free conferences out there. So why spend your time here? Why go to the PAFOW campus and spend your limited resources and energy browsing around? Well, we wanted to create this always on platform so you could come in and access the content that's relevant and actionable and timely for you. And that's what we've been doing and building a body of content through the PAFOW Live episodes, the People Data for Good podcast, and a variety of other activities that we have done to harness this content in accessible, manageable ways. So hopefully you'll be experiencing that over the next couple of days. By the way, I am humbled to say that we have a lot of people. I'm not going to share the number right now because I haven't even had a chance to look at it this morning. But if you have signed up, registered to get in the platform, I want to thank you personally. I know you're taking a bit of a risk in coming in and saying, hey, gosh, what is this all about? So thank you for your openness to come in and explore with us. So the gratitudes. So on our team, I want to start off by thanking Laura Osborne, who has been with me over the past 12, 14 months now, and she's been critical in a lot of aspects of what we're doing, and more on what her role has been and will be moving forward later. It's just been very exciting to work with her, as well as Ann Harrison, who's been doing our accounting and bookkeeping, Katrina Rodriguez, who is responsible for a lot of the visuals that you're seeing, Jenna Dern, who's been doing social media, Daniel Kochevi, who is responsible for our new website. If you haven't gone over there and check it out, it's fantastic. I'm super pleased, and there's actually more to come on that because our content is going to live on the website more and more. The Slides Live team is incredible. I want to give them a particular shout out. You can go and see their ship in the expo hall, but truly they've been extraordinary, and you're going to see some things over the next couple of days that you're probably not normal to see. This is not just a Zoom meeting. So as you've already seen, I'm going to pan in, pan out. That's all them. They're going to make some decisions on the fly. So they're effectively our outsourced production house, and they do an exceptional job. So thank you for them. Thank you, Adela, George, and the team there. It's just been incredible. Six Connects, as I mentioned. Edna, Justin, Rebecca, the whole team there, and of course Jill Marte, who has been just incredible. I'm using that word a lot, but it's absolutely true that this would not be possible without those people putting their energy and ideas into something that is frankly new, because this is an always-on environment. Most people use these technologies for an event to an event to an event. This is going to be on for the next 365 days and likely longer. So we're going to grow the experience within the PAFOW campus. And as we do that, we're going to bring more content, and we're going to make it even more relevant. And I will share a bit about that in a couple of minutes. So there are more gratitudes to share. I mean, the speakers to devote their time to come in and believe in us and what we're doing. Me personally, in many cases, I just can't not thank you enough. For all those who've believed in what we're doing over the years, thank you. I am going to certainly, with our kids, and every night we do gratitudes and affirmations. So this is something that is very dear to me, because I just want to elevate that while you're going to be seeing and hearing from me a lot over the next couple days. There are so many people behind me who have made this happen. So I just want to acknowledge them. And what you're seeing is truly a team effort. It's not just me up here doing this. So what is the PAFOW campus? You are in all likelihood in there right now, and this would be the first thing you see. And so you can click through to variety rooms. I strongly encourage you to start at the Welcome Hall. The Welcome Hall will give you even better navigation to an array of rooms. Most of what you see here is clickable. And so you can visit the Resource Center, the networking lounge. The executive lounge, by the way, is for directors and above. And that is something that we have done based on requests, and more on that later. And I know I'm saying more on that later, but there's a lot to get through, and I'm not going to spend all the time right now. The Expo Hall is a place where you'll stay, but the live streaming is happening, if you're in here right now, right here. And so we are breaking up the live stream into 3 5-hour blocks per day. So when you come in, just go into the relevant block. That will, in all likelihood, be indicated by a live marker. And once the session is done, then that will be viewable for later viewing until October 16th. So why engage in the live stream? Well, in the live stream, we have Slido working. We have also the, what do you call, discussion board going on. So there's a lot of interactivity that will be happening. So thus, I strongly encourage you to engage in the live programming. While you're also in the environment, either during a break, we are going to have a specific break to visit the Expo Hall tomorrow, but go in here. Most of what you see is clickable into the sponsor booths. In some cases, you would go to their website. But the idea is that we are here to learn from the innovators, and many of the innovations in our space are coming from the vendor community. So thank you to all these groups that have, again, believed in us and that are now investing and making sure that this is something that's on for you ongoing. Up top, you'll see a click through to our website. You also see right in the middle there is Merge 4. And so as you are going through your experience over the next couple of days, if you can take a look at me and my what I'm holding here, I am holding, yes, People Data for Good socks. I'm very excited about it. I am wearing People Data for Good socks right now. So throughout the environment, there are socks to click on, and then you get a acknowledgement that you've earned points. So there is a game, so to speak. There's a leaderboard around gaining points for clicking into booths, downloading content, finding the socks. So we are going to be giving away 100 pairs of People Data for Good socks. So we're going to close the opportunity to earn points when we wrap up tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific. So encourage you to navigate around and earn those, and there's more describing this within the site itself. So with that, I also want to share that within the themes, within the environment, we're going to be covering 12 key themes. And we're going to be doing this today and tomorrow within the conference itself. But we're also going to be doing this ongoing. So what we're going to be doing are 4 cornerstone conferences, what we're calling PAFOW Global Online per year. And so we're also going to do 2 one-day conferences or events per theme. So given that I'm a data and analytics professional, 12 times 2 is 24, plus 4 is 28. That means 28 events on the PAFOW campus over the next year. That works out to roughly 1 every other week. So we're going to be busy over here. So I encourage you to check back. And that is going to be important. because as you registered for the event, you are given an option. Do I come in for free? And you're welcome to view the live stream, navigate around the environment. The only thing you cannot do if you come in for free is download the session presentations and related content. And so after the fact, we're going to be doing post-production. Each of the sessions are going to be digital assets, which are going to be uploaded to a particular space. If the presenter has authorized the distribution of their presentation, then that will be available there as well. If you have paid, then you will have access to the PAFOW campus over the next year. So that means you will be able to access the content for all events on the platform over the next year. And in my view, it's an incredible deal. I've already been kicked in the shins for saying, well, that's probably not expensive enough. Well, we want to get people in the community engaged in the content, make an investment, support the People Data for Good movement. And then we'll see where we are in the future. But I feel really good about it. It's not only accessible within the PAFOW campus, but it's accessible within the PAFOW community app. So within the app, it's available in the App Store and Google Play. It's now for a fee. It's that same $99.99. So if you pay to enter the PAFOW campus, you will get an invite to the PAFOW community app. You'll be able to access all the content that we have done over the years, and that it's organized in the studios. Studios are organized by geography, by these themes here, and by maybe some bespoke groups that have been spun up by geography. So go in there, check it out. If you've already registered, you're in. If you are thinking about it, I just want to give you clarity on what the investment will give you back. But you'll have something always in your pocket, and when you go to the web, you'll be able to visit the PAFOW campus and access information there. So I referred to it a couple times, and I mentioned People Data for Good. So what the heck is this? People Data for Good is us promoting the ethical and responsible use of people data analytics and AI for the benefit of individuals first and foremost, teams, groups, and that includes diversity groups, organizations, and society at large. So we're very clear on our purpose as a community. It's one thing to go and consciously or continuously talk about business impact. There are trade-offs, and I want us to acknowledge this going in. Do we want to see organizations perform well? Of course, but we do not want that to happen at the expense of the individual, at the expense of groups. In those themes you saw, and I'm going to go back to it, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's going to be certainly a key theme over the next couple days. We're going to see it from a lot of different perspectives. And I want to honor the narrative that has been shared thus far with many of the people that I have had the pleasure and honor of interviewing on my podcast or on PAFOW Live each Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. I also want to acknowledge the fact that we have a lot of work to do. And so as we go into these next 2 days, I want us to not come in looking to be entertained and impressed. I want us to come in with an open mind that's compassionate, that's curious, that's creative, that is going to ultimately enable us to do something different to achieve better experiences for people. So if we can do that, I think our time is going to be well spent. So we definitely have a position on this thing called people analytics and AI. So hopefully you'll join me in that pursuit of making the world a better place. So with that, we are going to be live streaming. There are going to be some recorded sessions within what we're calling the design studio. So the design studio is accessible from a variety of different entry points throughout the environment. So I encourage you to go in there, check out the innovation showcases, some pre-recorded sessions and podcast episodes, PAFOW Live episodes. It's not the whole library. We've just selected a handful. The full library is either accessible on the YouTube channel or within the PAFOW community app. So there's a lot more to share. I want to really get into some of the specifics of what it's going to look like in a week's time, 2 weeks' time. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. But I will say two more things. There are actually 9 rooms within the environment, and I've covered most of them. One of the rooms is a learning lab, and once you go to learning lab, you'll see coming soon. That is intentional. So next Monday, we're going to be launching our learning labs. Now, learning labs are 4 to 6 week, what we call education consulting hybrid. So it benefits the individual learner, and it also benefits the sponsoring organization. We used to do this in the form of what we call the People Analytics Academy, and now we're rejigging it a little bit to meet the needs of this current environment and, frankly, access people around the world. We used to do it here in Santa Cruz, California, and again, we're not going to be doing that anytime soon. The last couple things, and if I was in a conference hall or something, that, I'd be sharing people, well, there's a restroom there, and there's when we're going to be serving food and having drinks and all that. That's obviously not going to happen. What I will say, and if I say I will say again, I'm going to kick myself. When you go to the booths, you'll be able to live chat and you'll be able to video chat in real time. So it's pretty darn cool, if you ask me. So I invite you, I encourage you to go and experience that. You'll also be able to chat with one another. So you can come in, you can leave your do not disturb unchecked, so you can be visible to others. If you want to stay incognito, so to speak, then make sure your do not disturb is on, and then people won't be able to reach out to you. But I encourage you to connect. We're doing our best technology-wise to facilitate communication while you're in the environment. But if you want to be more private as you navigate, then totally understand it. Just make sure you put the do not disturb on. Now, I am going to say one last thing, and I want to, this is live right now for those who are obviously watching it, but it's also going to be available for recording later. And so I want to really drive this home. When I speak publicly, and certainly chair our conferences, and anyone who's been to them knows I talk about this, and it's this notion of safety. We as human beings, our biggest phobia, if you don't know, is physical, emotional, and psychological combat. We don't like to fight with one another. And so it's extraordinarily important to me that this community, even virtually, be a safe place. It's my responsibility to maintain it so. And so as you go in and interact with others, please do so respectfully, kindly, with curiosity and compassion and creativity. That will produce positive outcomes that we all want. I just don't want, particularly when we're chatting and asking questions to the presenters, albeit through virtual means, that we do so with the intent of elevating and not tearing down. And so if you would do me that courtesy, I would be greatly appreciative, because I want people to have positive experiences in here. As you go through, if you're a more senior person, I encourage you to look and maybe find people who are younger and help be open to elevating them. Similarly, if you're someone who's just looking for work, or if you're trying to learn more about the space, be respectful of people's time and don't overburden them. So there's that fine balance, which we're all going to be discovering, because this is new. So I just ultimately ask you to look out for one another's safety, be kind, be curious, be creative, and we'll enjoy the experience, I hope. So with that, I am going to sign off. We're going to go to a commercial break. And by the way, all the sessions are either 25 minutes or 50 minutes in length. That will be followed by either a 5 or 10 minute commercial break. That'll give us time to transition in the background here. Also give you all time to take a break, and occasionally, I'll be taking a break as well. So what I'm going to do now is be quiet, and I'm going to let us go to commercial, and then we'll come back with my longtime friend, colleague, David Green. How's that sound? Let's do it. Onward.